Hey, what's up guys? So this is part 8 I think of the scripting tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over I think it was remote events and remote functions. So let's get started. So to understand remote events and why you need them, I'm gonna first off explain to you what filtering enabled is. So for that I'm gonna go to test and I'm gonna do 2 players. And if you didn't know this already, I have the crossroads map. It's a pretty good demonstration in my opinion. I'll show you in a second. Okay. So when you test with the server, you have the server view. Not sure why I can't click anything. Okay, that's kind of weird. Oh, no, I can't. So, and you also have these 2 players here. So player 1 and player 2. So what was it again? Filtering enabled is pretty much a way to make exploiters less powerful. So how I'm gonna show you how it works is by deleting the map. So if I go over here and click on the workspace and I delete geometry, I don't know why the map is named that, but if I delete it, as you can see on player 1's screen, it actually deletes the map and it dies. But what filtering enabled does is that it doesn't allow the client, so whatever this player sees right now, this is what usually we call a client. And because I deleted the map on the client side, filtering enabled doesn't allow it to replicate to the server, which is what this is. So whatever is in the server is what the client see. And filtering enabled pretty much just stopped this player from deleting the map on the server. So instead of deleting the map on every single player's screen, it only deleted it on his screen. So yeah, the other players can still play the game and not die. And on the other player's screen, the player just falls through the map. So yeah, that's filtering enabled. So yeah, it doesn't allow a single player to like delete the map. Is, in my opinion, one of the best explanations I would come up with. So let me just close up the game. Actually, I'm gonna delete the map on the server as well real quick so you can see. So I deleted it on the server, and as you can see, player 2 is falling as well now. So I'm gonna show off remote events now. So okay, let me think of a method. So let me show you local scripts as well real quick. So local scripts like regular scripts, but they only do stuff on the client side. So I'm going to show you real quick. So I'm just going to do game.geometry, or workspace.geometry destroy. I'll do like a test.wait 5 as well. So actually maybe I'll do like 10. Actually, yeah. So if I play the game, it will delete the map for me in 10 seconds. So I'll just wait real quick. Okay, it should happen any second now. Yep. And currently we're on the client view. So if you go to the test tab and click current view, you can change it to server. And as you can see, the server still sees the regular map. So this is what the other players will see. I don't know why I can't move the camera. It's glitched or something. But as you can see, the map is still here, which means every single other player will still be able to play the game. So what if we wanted to destroy the map for every single player through a local script? Well, this is where remote events and remote functions come in use. So usually you store remote events in replicated storage. I'm going to show you real quick what replicated storage and server storage is. So I'm going to be storing a folder in these places real quick. So replicated storage, server script service, and server storage. So if I play the game, So this is pretty much what the exploiters can access. They can access all of these. But you remember I put a folder in server storage? Yeah, I can't access that because only the server can see what's inside server storage, server script service, and probably some other stuff. But if I go on the server view, I can see what's inside them. But replicated storage pretty much allows both client side and server side to see what's inside it. So yeah, store your important stuff in here because the exploiters can't see them. So anyways, let's make a remote function now, remote event. I'm just going to leave it at the default name. So I'm still going to do task.wait 10, but first off, I'm going to make a variable for the remote event. So local remote equals game. Not sure if I explained this, but make sure to use get service. I'm not going to go into the specific details between game get service and game period replicated storage. Just use get service. Maybe I'll make a in-depth video some other day, but yeah, for now just use game get service and the name of your service. In this case, replicated storage. And just in case, I'm going to do wait for child remote event. Okay, we have our remote event now. So now what we need to do is fire it. So pretty much activate the remote event. So remote, it was fire server, and that's it. Now we're activating the remote event. But nothing is going to happen because we actually need to listen out for the remote event being fired as well by a server script. So script in the server script service. We can actually just copy the same line here. So now to listen out for a remote, you do remote.onServerEvent. So yeah, it's pretty much just an event, and then you connect to a function. And the first parameter, no matter what, is always going to be player. So if I print player.name, it's going to print the player name in 10 seconds, obviously. I just let it execute real quick, and then I'll explain it once again. And yep, as you can see, it printed. So yeah, we're making a variable for the remote event, then we're firing it, and on the server side, we're listening out for the remote event. And then we're using the argument that we get from it, or the parameter. We're using the parameter to print out the player name. So let's actually delete the map on the server side now. So workspace.geometry destroy. So if you see now, okay, I should definitely reduce the time, but anyways, just wait a second. Yep. And if you go on the server view, we can see that the map is gone from here as well. So that's remote events. You can actually send over more parameters, like I'll send over what we want to delete. So I'll do workspace.geometry. Okay, and here we need to retrieve the argument. So let's make it a parameter. I'll name it instance. Okay, and now we can just do instance destroy. Because yeah, remember, the first parameter is always going to be player, and we sent it over, then we're receiving it and deleting it. So it will still destroy the map, or whatever we sent it. So yeah, if I would put like, I don't know, my character model there, then the game will delete my character model. But yeah, it still deletes map. So yeah, that's remote events. They're not that hard to understand. Just mess around with them for a bit and you should be able to get it. So remote functions, they're pretty much identical, but there's just one minor difference. So I'll just rename this real quick. Okay, so what remote functions do? Actually, I just thought of a good example. So let me put some valuable information inside server storage. So like I'm gonna put a number value. So yeah, values, you can like, there are instances in Roblox that you can like store values. I'm not sure how to explain it, but just number values, they just hold a number inside them and that's it. So I'm going to do like 100. So let's say you have like a guess the number game. You don't want exploiters to see the number. You can like store it in server storage so they can't see it, but the server can still see it. So we have 100 here. And if we were to print game get server storage dot value. Wait, I'm gonna rename this to important. And the reason I'm adding dot value here is because the value is actually a property of the actual instance. So I need to print out the property. So if I play this, it's actually going to print like nil something. So yeah, important is not a valid member of server storage. So yeah, pretty much I showed you before, but the client cannot see what's inside server storage. So it pretty much tried to print nil. So what if we want to print it? Well, we can use a remote function for that. So we can do remote, and remote functions, instead of fire server, you do invoke server. And the difference with remote functions is that they return something, so we need to set it to a variable. So local returned equals. And on the script, we don't do remote.onServer event. We do remote on server invoke, and then we set it to a function. And the first parameter is the player, obviously. And now we can just return game get service server storage dot. Actually, I'll wait for child just in case. Important dot value. And now we can just print returns. Don't worry, I'll explain it again once I show off how it works. And as you can see, we got 100. So yeah, we got the remote function in a variable. Then we invoked it, and on the server, we're listening out for when the remote function gets invoked. And if it gets invoked, then we return our important number. And then we print it. We can actually make this shorter by just printing out this. And obviously, if you have a function, then you can just connect it to the name of the function. So like local function get stuff player, then we can just do this, and then we can set it to the function like that. I think it's just a name though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a name. Should still work. Yep, 100. So yeah, remote functions are a bit more complicated. Just mess around with them. That's a good method to learn, in my opinion. Anyways, there's one more difference that I want to show you. So if I put a task.weight 10 here, and I print something right after we print that. So I printed. So it won't actually print it until the server script has returned something. So it's going to wait 10 seconds before returning the number. With remote events, they will just keep on running. It doesn't matter if there's a wait in a function. So yeah, remote events, so if you fire a remote event, it will keep on running. It won't wait for the wait in another script. But remote functions, they will yield the script until something is returned. And you can actually do it the opposite way as well. You can fire a remote event or a remote function from the server to the client. So if you have like a owner only door, then you can open the door for the owner only. But yeah, I'll make a part real quick. I'm going to scale it. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show this off. So game get service players dot player added, connect function player if player dot user ID is equal to game dot creator ID. So creator ID is just whoever made the game. If the game is made by a group, then it will be the group ID. Anyways, then we want to fire the remote event. So I'm gonna replace this with a remote event. Then, remote event. Then remote fire client. Oh yeah, there's also fire all clients, so it fires it fires the remote for all of the clients. Yeah. So fire client, and the first argument has to be the client or the player instance. So player. And I'll send over what we want to destroy. So workspace dot part. On the local script, we listen out until it's fired. So remote event, so remote dot on client event connect function instance. So I'm setting this parameter since we're sending over instance. And then instance destroy. There we go. And it should destroy the part, but only for us. So there's no part there, but on the server view, we still have a part. And yeah, it works the same for remote functions as well. Not gonna go over it because it's, yeah, you just flip it. You pretty much just flip the names and everything, and yeah. Then, so yeah. Remember, remote events, remote functions, you can use them to communicate between server and client, or client to server. So yeah, I hope you understood. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I'll try to explain better, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this video. There's going to be no challenge because I kind of gave away the answer in this video, so there's no point for me to make it a challenge. But yeah, just mess around with them, and yeah, not sure what you can experiment with, but yeah, that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.